know you're gunning for him. Not
Yeah, I know.
so I didn't get
Yeah.
that.
It was highly disrespectful.
What they do is your boy Rob J. You already know what it is. I don't know if you heard, but Juicy J just released a new album. They're calling it jazz. So I want to say that Juicy J just released a new jazz album, but we're going to talk a little bit more about that later. I think the topic of this video is basically my opinion that this album, that even though it's called jazz, it's categorized as jazz, it's not really jazz. Let me say this before I even begin. I love Juicy J. I love everything that he's done musically, period. 3-6 Mafia is one of the most influential groups to the city that I live in. Baltimore, I don't know if everybody mess with 3-6 everywhere. I know where I grew up at, it's not a lot of 3-6 fans in South Florida. It's, in the South, it's kind of touch and go or hit and miss when it comes to people who are fans of 3-6 because of religious beliefs and everything, and everybody want to make their own assumptions about what's the purpose or the reasoning behind them using the 3-6 in the name with the symbolism. Let's put it like that. But Baltimore ain't one of those places. Baltimore, we have a deep love for 3-6 Mafia, the group. The whole group, everybody in it. Started off with a little history. I've been listening to Juicy, Paul, Gangsta Boo, Chad, Infamous, Crunch, Coop, even Lil White. I went to a 3-6 concert back in the day, years ago. It was a riot. It was a full-scale riot. Niggas got pepper sprayed. They pepper sprayed everybody. White people, young people, old people, mamas. They just pepper sprayed the whole crowd. And then, so there's a riot. We get pepper sprayed. Then we go in the bathroom, rinse off as good as we can. We still burning, but we go straight back to the concert. We're in the concert. We're jamming. We're burning, but we're jamming the whole time. Okay? So that gives you a little bit of history as far as why I would make this video, first of all. And second of all, I want to emphasize that this is not a Juicy J diss video. The Juicy J is the shit. We fuck with Juicy, okay? My problem isn't with Juicy. It's with the classification of this album of his as jazz, because it's not jazz. So, first of all, here's the definition of jazz. Okay. I'm not going to read it. You can read it. And we can throw that out. We throw that right on out. Because at the end of the day, this is a part of the problem. We got to denounce that. Because according to that, damn near anything could be considered jazz, right? The problem is letting white people define and categorize everything for their own convenience and understanding. In this quest of music capitalism, we've strayed far away from the origin and the essence of music, which is spiritual, really. It's like, it's intangible. It's nearly impossible to define, but you can feel it when you hear it. That's what it's supposed to be about right there. And if you're an actual student of this shit, you'll know what it is and what it's not. Now, the jazz greats that you would for sure not even question were jazz. Would they consider this new Juicy J album jazz? Maybe, maybe not. I know I can attest to jazz being a bit elitist. That's for sure. And it's annoying at times, but it's also necessary. I feel like they've kind of earned the right to be annoyingly elitist in this. They earned it with the blood, sweat, and tears, the hours and hours and hours and hours upon hours of practice. I feel like that gives them the right to be that way. To even improvise in jazz, it takes a level of understanding of the scales and chords that the average modern successful musician lacks. And I took music theory. That shit is fucking complicated. I got an A. The circle of fifths still pisses me off to this day, but I did get an A in music theory. So it's complicated, bro. It's not simple. And jazz is taking it to the next level. You know what I'm saying? So featuring Robert Glasper on your album does not make your album jazz. That's not how this works. It's not a slight to Juicy. Once again, it's a criticism of the current system of categorizing music genres that we have. People keep saying, I keep saying, we need a new way. This is not working. Now, I could see how they call Three Stacks jazz. If you listen to it, you got no rap, first of all. You got live instrumentation on every track. It's very improvisational. I mean, like, what else you gonna call it? You know, you could call it alternative, you could call it experimental, but at the end of the day, Juicy J is hip hop. Juicy J is rap. You know, this album, is it jazzy? Yes, jazzy as fuck. But it's not jazz. If I had to categorize most of Juicy's previous body of work, I would probably catalog it or categorize it as Southern hip hop / rap. If I had to, okay? But this one is hip hop. It's hip hop. And you got mostly golden era hip hop beats. You got a couple of classic Southern hip hop beats. I mean, it's extra jazzy. It's jazzy as a bitch, but it's not jazz, okay? There's a difference, okay? So that's my quick, Fantano impersonation. I had to get that off my chest. But my question to you, the consumer of this music, okay? Would you call Tribe jazz? Tribe Called Quest? Would you call Gangstar jazz? DJ Premier, Guru? Would you call those artists jazz? Probably not, right? It's jazz heavy hip hop. And so is this, okay? And this is a reason why gatekeeping is essential. There is this fire-ass video I watched about why gatekeeping is, in some cases, is essential. I'm going to put it up right here, and I'm going to put the link in the description because it's really a fire video, and it's pretty enlightening. I used to think gatekeeping was hella annoying, but it's needed. It's necessary. Since I'm telling you what's not jazz, let me give you an example of what is jazz, and maybe that'll help a bit, because I already know people probably going to say, he could call it jazz if he could. No, he can't call it jazz if you want to call it jazz. You can't call it jazz if you want to call it jazz, because if we do that, then we leave room for a bunch of fucking non-musician ass, non-taking this serious ass motherfuckers to come in here and just start making bullshit and then calling it jazz. Well, you call that jazz. We can't be moving the goalposts. We can't move the goalposts. Jazz is jazz. So since that's not jazz, let me tell you what is jazz. What is jazz? Esperanza Spalding is jazz. Yusuf Days is jazz. Rocco Palladino, Tom Misch, Ezra Collective, Samara Joy, Justin Lee Schultz, Corey Henry is jazz. Snarky Puppy, the group he's in, jazz. Okay? Hiromi Uehara, jazz. All of these people are jazz. Hell, Thundercat, I would call Thundercat jazz. The label of jazz is not as strict as maybe the most elitist jazz fan or musician would like you to believe, but it's also not as open as these white folks that's just trying to put something in a box will have you to believe either. This is not jazz. I fuck with you, Juicy. I love the album. I love every album you've ever made. Look, man, I can't stress this enough. I fuck with Juicy J. Heavy. I am not saying I don't like this album. The album is good, but it's not jazz. Till the next time.
You know, it was highly disrespectful.